Hello friends, Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. Here we have Kyle Ludgood throwing the 18-pound hammer. Before we get into this video, I just want to let you guys know that if you are in need of technical coaching, if you're in need of throws programming or lifting programming, go check out my website, www.gripandrip.co.co. All sorts of different options there, willing to help out anyone and everyone with, like I said, technique, programming, figuring out what hammers to throw, how to progress throughout the season when it comes to programming, periodization, whatever. I'm here to help. www.gripandrip.co. So, Kaya, 18-pound hammer. I've done an analysis on him before, so I went back and just watched that to review and see how things have improved. And so let's take a look.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So, having gone back and watched the original technical analysis I did for you, Kaya, this is an improvement for sure. For sure. Especially with this being an 18-pound hammer. Right side's looking pretty good. Once again, you're left-handed, so I'm going to get some words mixed up, but concepts are going to be the same. Your right side, right shoulder is looking good. Your right heel is more grounded compared to the first video that I reviewed. So let's just let's get into it and break it down a little bit more. As I said in the first video, I like your winds are reaching out pretty far to your left side, centered, hips moving, flowing, reaching out wide to the left side, setting this right side back really nicely, rotating it backwards. This is great. You can see your left foot moving more here. That's an improvement from the first video as well. You're a little bit more on the ball of the foot. I like that. Turning as it goes through zero. You can see this right side really setting the direction here, which is great. This right hip shifts back, right shoulder shifts back on that heel, setting the direction really nicely, staying patient. Your head's a little bit ahead, not a huge deal though. The general movement itself is pretty nice. Starting off the heel is always tough. So I mean, like getting this left hip more into it would be kind of the next step. So like this right hip shifts back. I just want to see that as the hammer goes through zero, this left hip chases your hands, chases the hammer around the right. And then you see it kind of shifts back just a little bit. It's a little bit behind you. You can see these few frames here. There's a little bit of shifting around where it's not quite direct. It's not 100% direct in terms of everything in the body. Basically, I think overall, looking at this throw, just full speed, the biggest thing to work on is, once again, just overall connection with the body, tightening things up. It's an improvement from what it was before. It's tighter than it was before, but I still think the connection needs to be a little bit tighter in terms of like you're shifting back here, your hip kind of shifts forward with the hammer instead of kind of keeping your direction backwards. You can see a little bit in and out where like the right foot flops open a little bit, left foot's behind you. You see a little bit of up and down here in the lower or in the upper body. You see those shoulders rising up as the ball rises up. Try to keep your shoulders down, feel some tension down in the lats. It's a little stuff like that that really contributes to connection, keeping things consistent and stable. So as we're going around in single support, you want this left hip to kind of move with the hammer a little bit more, and like I said, try to keep those shoulders down. You can see yourself kind of shrugging those shoulders up to the ears. Keep those shoulders down. You still want them protracted forward, so you want to reach your hands as far forward as possible, reach your shoulder blades as far forward as possible, but keep the shoulders down. Like activate those lats and serratus a little bit. Your single support movement is okay. I think you could keep just a little bit more weight back on this left foot. In the entry, you see you get kind of pulled around just a little bit. And when you catch, just a little heavy kind of downwards here, downward sort of movement. So you got to kind of work down and fight out of it instead of having your hip right underneath you and being a little bit more upright. So you catch, left heel comes down. You're relatively patient here. Let's see, you catch, and you can see a little bit of tension up in the shoulders again, just a little tight, especially in this left shoulder, oddly enough. So you're kind of shrugging up there. Use those lats, keep those shoulders down and forwards. Let the ball really give you that sort of tension as the ball goes through its low point. Like I said, I like this right side cranking back, but I still think, like I said, you could just tighten things up a little bit. Your feet are a little bit wide here. You're not quite over your center of, well, I should say you're over your center of mass, but your feet could be a little bit tighter here. You know, they're a little bit wider than shoulder width. I think if this right heel is a little bit more underneath this hip, or your feet were just a little bit like shoulder width apart, things could get a little bit tighter and perhaps cleaner. That right side going back is good again. This left foot is turning better with the hammer. Left side is turning better. You're still a little bit ahead of it. And that's evident from this right foot. So got to keep that under control a little bit more. Think about kind of turning the knees together, tension between the knees as a cue, kind of keeping the knees together as a unit. Like I said, that you catch, they're kind of together, and then this you can see this space open up between the knees, and especially the feet. Left foot's pointed back to 0, right foot's pointed ahead to 270 or 90, depending on what orientation you want to talk about with your left-handedness. And then, yeah, just got to relax the shoulders. You're back over that left side a little bit better here. But you got to control that right foot. And then you can see the hip working up into it a little bit more here. Right side coming back, left side going around. But then it just looks like you're missing a little bit of direction. You can see, if you look at your body right here versus right here, your body is closer towards the camera. Yeah? So that's a sign that you're losing direction. And throwing an 18-pound hammer, that's tough, especially when you're younger. So as you come through double support earlier on, you need to use your heel and your left toe, right heel. Kind of push back, work backwards, lean backwards into the throw as the ball goes through 0. Lean back. You do it a little bit, but it's not quite as good as it needs to be. You need to get your hips up and forwards a little bit more. Lean your shoulders backwards. A side view would be interesting to see here. And then that would help you not get kind of pulled around and come backwards in single support. But yeah, and you can see as you come around in this next catch, you over rotate just a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. But you can see your chest is down a little bit more. Your left shoulder's down, right shoulder's down, which is good. But your chest looks a little bit down as well. And you see a side view, once again, I think would be interesting to see if your shoulders are over your hips, or if your hips are forward in front of your shoulders, or shoulders are back, whatever you want to call it. I imagine your torso is pretty much upright here. So the goal, I think, would be to lean backwards a little bit more in double support. Like I said, use your feet, use your hips to lean backwards. Get your hips up into the throw more. And then you catch. The right side goes a little too fast once again. Right foot is out of control. Left foot's behind you. This break in the knee here, this weird sort of angle between the foot, knee, and hip, is a sign that your right side's doing all the work. The left side's not quite working it. And you can see by the tension in the shoulders once again. And then as you turn, left foot once again pointed almost back to 0. Right foot pointed ahead. Hips getting up a little bit better here, but then same thing, you don't quite have enough direction with your whole body going towards 180 in single support. So you're going to come back around again, get pulled around a little bit, come closer towards the camera, and then you catch, and you get a little bit of this left foot drifting here. Sorry, right foot. Get a little bit of that right foot drifting there, and then you kind of get a little hop and gather into the final. You can see the hammer is up and away from you a little bit more here. Your shoulders are up. You're not quite as connected to throws in the body as much as it needs to be. So you catch. Left heel kind of grounds again, but then you kind of look at this weird kind of off balance sort of thing here. Shoulders tilted, hips, doesn't matter too much. But if you look at the discrepancy between the left side and the right side's very up, the left side's kind of down, kind of funky. You're strong enough to pull through. Hips get up into the throw finally. And then you get just a little hop in the finish. But overall, I think it's a huge improvement from last time. And I think that because yeah, that last analysis was back in October, so about 4 months almost to the day. October, November, December, January, February, something like that. 4 or 5 months. It's a good improvement, like I said, in terms of controlling that right side a little bit more. But the biggest thing I think this time around, like I said, is still controlling and tightening up the connection with the body, turning all of the parts of the body together with the hammer. Sometimes it's the left leg, and sometimes it's the right leg, and sometimes it's the left shoulder, and sometimes it's the right shoulder. But it all has to move together, kind of in sync together, to get maximum sort of connection. And then outside of that, control those shoulders. Feel a little tension in the lats. Keep the shoulders down and forwards. And then the biggest thing, and this is the absolute biggest thing here, is getting better direction and better pendulum. So as you come through 0, leaning back a little bit more there, you're going to hips up into it. Second turn, leaning back a little bit more there, leaning back a little bit more there, and then that should give you better tension and connection through the finish. So yeah, feeling that pendulum. As the ball goes through 0, you need to lean backwards. All right, that's the, I think, most important thing for this throw to be taken to the next level. These other little parts and pieces where I'm talking about the feet, kind of opening too quickly, or the shoulders being tight. Shoulders being tight is probably number 2. So those are the big things to work on moving forwards. But for this being an 18-pound hammer, and once again, this is like year 2.5 of you throwing the hammer, like, it's pretty solid. I want to watch it just full speed one more time because, like I said, I think it's a big improvement from back in October. Yeah, you're just going to need a little bit more direction there, and that'll help a lot. But throwing an 18-pound hammer, it's tough, especially when you're younger. So if you switch down to the 16, 14, I'm sure direction will get better. So that's it, man. Thanks for letting me do this for you, I suppose, and let me know if you have any other questions or anything. If anybody else out there would like a technical analysis or like programming, coaching, whatever it is, go to www.gripandrip.co. All right, that is it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Sean Don, peace and out.